Lock it in and rip the knob off. You're tuned in to the #1 show on the planet. The Heffron and Reep Show. Live from your headphones. It's Heffron and Reep. This is the epicenter of audio frequency entertainment.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Can't get enough of it.
Oh, yeah. You guys are the best.
Heffron and Reep.
I love you, love you, love you.
The Heffron and Reep Show.
Welcome to the Heffron Reep Show. I'm John Heffron. John Reep is on the other side of the... You know what I was thinking is, obviously every podcast, has intros and outros and music beds. Man, dude, you got to go back to our original podcast. If we would have stuck with that last podcast casting.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't have sweepers.
Right.
Like we had sweepers way back then because I enjoy them.
We were ahead of the game. I mean, I enjoy the sweepers too. In the moment you can do it. It's hard to do it with this Zoom type show we're doing here. But I'm gonna give ourselves credit on something else real quick, and we didn't talk about this before the show.
Okay.
My girl has been watching the new episodes of Honey Boo Boo and Mama June. Right? Remember that Honey Boo Boo?
Yeah.
So she's been watching the new ones, and I said, me and John Heffron predicted. We had a whole episode. What was it? 5 years ago? No.
Was it last? What was
it? Was when we did it in Hollywood at that tower in Hollywood. That's
right. I forgot how many places we've done this podcast.
Right.
And we should have 1 billion more listeners than we do because we did it. Wait, it's not to. I want to hear the Honey Boo Boo, but we did it at Brian Redband's apartment first.
Yes.
With the whole Death Squad thing. Right. And then
we did it.
We weren't cool. So we weren't there. And then we did it
we did it at the what's his face's house
at our apartments. And then we went to the tower in Los Angeles that was a full radio station that Toad Hop or something. And then we left and we had a hard time getting our subscribers, or that was a thing.
It was moving our subscription from one thing to another. We lost a lot of people.
And then we moved it to, where did we do it after that? Dude?
Oh, that guy. One
and then we went to Mike's place.
Yeah.
Studios. Boy, we've been bouncing around like we're kids who just divorced that,
But to give ourselves credit, dude, we did a whole episode we predicted what was going to happen to Honey Boo Boo. Like
we should have an archive segment, Yeah.
Because
remember then I bought all this stuff and we would do it at your house.
Right.
With Rachel Butera was on a bunch.
She was on one of those episodes, the Honey Boo Boo episode.
Yeah.
Because I literally had this conversation with my girlfriend. I'm like, you understand? Me and John predicted this, and I'm like, I got to go back and look it up. It's out there. I mean, I'll make Alan go look it up too.
I think now that you mention it, the title is literally Honey Boo Boo.
Yeah.
Well, wait. So is she still?
But we're only halfway into our prediction. We predicted the rest of her life.
We did. I do not remember.
And we're still not there quite yet. There's still plenty of time left for us to be right.
First mosquito of the spring just killed it.
Yeah, buddy, spring is here.
What's her new show?
Good question. Something about from hot to not. Or something like that. It's where Mama June lost all that weight. And then, so they're following around the whole family now. It's not just Honey Boo Boo. But there's a whole channel, like on that Pluto network, there's a whole channel just dedicated to them. Now that we didn't predict. We didn't predict they'd have their own network. You know what I mean? All right, look, tell everybody to share. Listen. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching us live right now on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. We got your comments. We see them. We're gonna read your comments from time to time, but we want you to know we're here live and we want you to share it. So hit the share button right now as John Heffron talks about maybe, I don't know, his tour dates or something.
Do you want to do that right now? Why they're
I don't know.
sharing?
While they're sharing that way, they don't have to. It's like they're not missing entertainment.
Heffron and Reep. Shameless plugs.
So I will say this because I actually have dates to plug. By the way, I got a new John Deere hat. Can you see it, John Reep?
Oh, I didn't notice the little John Deere logo. Oh, that's pretty progressive for John Deere. They're pretty alternative there,
Isn't it? It's a little
it's like a little surfy John Deere.
Yeah, it's April 2nd through the 3rd. If you're in Michigan, guess what? So am I. Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase. There's still a curfew, but they've increased the capacity. Just 3 shows. Be nice. I haven't been here. I had to skip last year because of this shenanigans going on. Listen, I go get my vacation, 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 staycation. I get that tomorrow morning. So I'm going to be rolling in to the Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase basement with a puffy chest and feeling good about myself. There's 8 billion other things that you could catch that'll kill you, but that's one less thing.
Nice.
So I'm showing up, getting the Johnson & Johnson one. So that's one shot, one opportunity. Would you capture it or let it slip away?
Oh, speaking of Michigan, yeah, one shot, the M&M shot.
One shot, not Moderna. That's 2. That's funky cold Moderna.
Isn't it weird that Johnson & Johnson is the one that came out with a one shot, but their name, they say their name twice.
Gotcha.
Yeah, sorry, that was dumb.
No, there's a lot of, they're the ones that told us baby powder was okay. And a lot of people, you got affected by baby powder. It's a weird thing.
That's right.
Do you have to get vaccinated because you already had COVID or I don't know if the new strands are talking about, if that's even, if they're just scaring us now.
Well, I have, here's my philosophy, right? I already got COVID. I got it in July. Now I know there's different strains and I could probably get it again and all that crap, but I feel like I did work up a nice immunity. I'll be turning 49 this Friday.
This Friday coming up.
Yeah. So I'm not quite 50. So I don't qualify for the 50 and up shot, but I will be 49 this March. So by the way, if you're watching this,
50. Just
know my birthday is this Friday, and I don't want you to get me anything. I want you for my birthday to hit the share button right now and subscribe. 2 things.
I should come up with a list for you. I never did it on my birthday when I turned 50. 50 things before you're 50?
Okay.
What if I do that to you?
Do it. I mean, do you?
I know
you don't have it ready right now, do you? Do you have a couple?
I don't. I know.
That's okay.
Well,
you know who else has a birthday today though? William Shatner.
Oh, the Priceline guy.
That's right. Right. No, the guy from TJ Hooker.
Oh, that show was so good.
His hairpiece was great in that.
Yeah.
You know who loves William Shatner? Brad Paisley.
Oh, yeah, they've done stuff, right?
Yeah. Do you remember when we were hanging out at Brad Paisley's burner house?
Yeah.
That's bigger than any house that we've ever had.
Yeah.
And and we were in his bar in his burner house where he had
where he had Guinness
on tap.
Ship him an entire bar
from Ireland.
The wood, just everything that was in the bar was shipped, and he gets barrels, and the guy doesn't even drink.
Right. But he loves the art of pouring the Guinness. And so he served us. Brad Paisley served us Guinness in his house at his bar, and he don't drink. Yeah,
that's when I was still mad at him.
He said something. Oh, he made fun of you.
He nonstop. He made fun of me. So you kind of felt like, you give him a little bit of he's Brad Paisley, so you don't give it back. And we're at his house and about to shoot his special. but then there's a little bit of
No, it was just one thing. I think what happened is I blame Sarah Tiana for that. Sarah Tiana's like a bully, dude. Like you get in a room and she sees like one guy, because she's all she knows is roasting, so she just roasts you all the time. And so she'll roast one guy, and if Brad kind of laughs, it's like, oh, so now that's what we're doing. We're just gonna roast this guy. So I think he just jumped on the bandwagon that Sarah Tiana started.
Well, and also I'm a good person to roast in the sense of it's hard to I don't get that mad. Like I take when I did morning radio here in Detroit with Danny Bonaducci, literally for 3 hours a morning, that's all I did was get made fun of. And it only made me more powerful and more popular every time.
Yeah.
So I just took it. And then you're just I mean, you got to defend it, but
it says a lot about you. If people who can take it and it rolls off their back, to me, that's better than trying to fight back and you look insecure when you get too pissed off about it. So that was great. That was a good move on your part. And, but I guess my point to that beginning was there was a picture of William Shatner in Brad Paisley's bar from TJ Hooker, where he had that awesome hairpiece, and it was signed to Brad Paisley. And I said, like, who's that guy? And it was like a headshot picture. It was like a small, 8x10 headshot in a bar. I'm like, top left corner, like, what's that? Who's that up there? Is that like, I don't know, is that some guy from like a Prel hair? I don't know what it was. And he said it was Brad, it was William Shatner. But happy birthday, William Shatner. He's 90 years young today.
So this is your last spin before your 50s. Is it right? You have a full year. Are you nervous about it? Are you in your head that I'm trying to find a picture of us when we were there at the bar, just to show.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm looking at you, but also listening.
I hear you. You're asking me if I'm worried about turning 49 or 50 or being that age.
Yeah.
No. And I'll tell you why. It's because I'm madly in love with Jody, and I have nothing to worry about. Like I got my future mapped out, and so I'm not worried about like looking young forever. Like I'm great, so I'm not worried about that part of it. The whole Hollywood, like you need to never admit your age.
Right.
Like I don't care. I'll be 49 March 26th of 2021. And then 2022, March 26th, I'll be 50. God willing, if I live that long. Yeah. So I'm not worried about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a sense that there's a piece that comes with age. Fit. The thing that always confused me is how do you dress? I don't know why I'm still worried. Like if you try to dress too young, you look douchey. So right. It's weird in between, but you're also invisible to everybody 25 plus.
Yeah.
Or 25 below. And as a 50-year-old guy, you could literally walk around and nobody even makes more than a second of eye contact with you.
It is. You're 100% right. Like, especially for us comedians, where it's like, well, we want to kind of be hip, and we want people younger than us to also watch us and think we're funny. We want to be.
Let me ask that question. Like, we'll get, because I've been not battling. That's the wrong term. Trying to figure it out. And I've had people. The people that take a few pennies, or the people who get percentages of the money that you make.
Okay.
Obviously they want more of a broader audience, and not even lately. I'm just like I'm not trying to do second show Friday crowd. I don't mm-hmm. I'd rather do people my age. And listen, 20 somethings enjoy me. I'm not talking people out, but I'm not gonna be my age on stage. So I do pop brownies. Who else does pop brownies? You know what? Here's 5 things I do when I was on. I just don't. Yeah. I can't do that at my age.
I understand that.
But you don't want to talk about getting your colonoscopy, because that gets boring too. It's a weird thing.
But I bet you could. But I'm sure. No, it's frustrating, and we both hate second show Fridays because a lot of times it's like, if you're in a town you don't go to that often, that's when they give away tickets. And then there are people who just come in there who don't know you. And they're like, oh, it's the comedian. And we're, so they expect that you got to try harder, or they're drunker. Or they have nothing invested in the show. And, and they're not like necessarily your fans. So it's tougher. And I don't like it either. But I think we probably at this point both have bits and enough stage time to deal with it. But I don't like it. It doesn't mean I like it. But I know that you and I can still do well in those moments.
Yeah, just stuff you want to talk to. Like when I was in Nashville this weekend, it was one of the crowds. I did Monday and Tuesday, and then headline Thursday. But Tuesday was everybody who's moved to Nashville crowds, and it was Steve Byrne, Theo Vaughn, Kate Quip, like everybody who moved out of Los Angeles lives in Nashville. But the crowd was younger. I think I even talked about the crowd. And I looked, I'm like, I got jokes about buying this old house, and they want to hear just not that. Right. There were a couple comics on that were hilarious doing just deeply personal bits.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious. They're being authentic. You gotta use your voice to be authentic, and talking about horrible things that happen to them in their lives.
Right.
Getting laughs, but that's back to the conversation we always have. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna keep it friendly. I'm just gonna keep it matchbox.
What did you end up doing?
I
mean, not the bits, but like you didn't do that set you were trying out for the Tonight Show.
I bailed, and I have this. It's an older bit, but this Bell's palsy thing that I keep adding to. That's how I write material. If I have a one joke or something that happened, then I call it totem poling, which is probably not acceptable. But I just keep adding. I keep stacking new stuff onto that original premise.
Right.
Yeah,
I do that too.
I might go 5 years ago, I might have a bit about going into an ice cream store, or I don't know why I use them, maybe because we're 50. So I'm talking about old references, but then I keep tagging. So I'm at the ice cream place, and then this thing happens. Then I hear this couple do this, and then this, and then that story just expands.
Right.
But it always starts with me walking into a thing. And
so your Bell's palsy experience has developed from maybe a 1 minute subject to like a 7 to 10 minute thing.
And it's a fun story to tell. And that's one that hits every age,
It is. It's also self-deprecating in a way, which everyone loves.
Yeah. So let me tell you about Nashville. You were
okay. Before you move on, I saw something on the Twitter sphere.
Okay.
Someone said you were bleeding on stage. What happened?
Okay, you still see it if you're watching them in the kit. Okay, do you see this right here?
No.
Right there.
I mean, I see your chin. I see maybe one little dot.
Okay, so I'm on stage, getting ready to do my set. I take the mic. I hold the mic. The thumb over the mic is my move, so that way the mic never touches my mouth. This is even pre-COVID. I've always. Yeah, now they have those little mic condoms, which I'm going to use even when COVID's not a thing. I put them on, it gets the smell away.
Right.
So I hold the mic if you're listening to podcasts, you're hating this part, but if you're watching, I put my thumb over it so that way only my thumb touches my lips. Okay, I had a hangnail on my thumb,
no.
and I bring the mic across just like normal, but it slices my entire chin. It slices it. And then I start talking, and you see everyone in the front. I'm like, how am I losing them? This whatever I was talking about always gets a laugh. I don't understand what. And this girl just goes, "You're bleeding."
Oh.
And then I went like that, but it was huge. So this is something welcome to when you turn 50, where you don't clot up as well as you used to.
Right.
It was gushing out. I dabbed it once or twice and thought we're good. And I started talking, and then they'd go, "You're bleeding again." Then every mom in the front row, which that's all it was, all going to their purse. Cause they're like, "We have sons. Here's instant stitch. Here's everybody has their medical." the club brings me up like a bandage at like a huge one you would go on your knee, and I just put it on my face. So the bandage
hilarious.
was covering up my chin to my cheek, and then I started singing, "If you want to come on a ride with me, take a L in the back." A little Nelly of Band-Aid reference. And then I took off the thing, still gushing. And then I heard one lady go, "I'm going to pass out." I'm like, "What? How are you gonna?" So then somebody hands me hand sanitizer, like in little things.
She's gonna pass out because she saw blood.
Dude, it was yes, but she said, "I go, you're not. You're."
She said you're gonna pass out.
Yeah,
Not
I started
her.
acting like I would talk a little, and then I would start to act like I was fainting. And then
We'll see.
But I wouldn't. I'm selling it now. So then I take somebody's cucumber hand sanitizer and put it in my hand, and they go, "Do it because you have an open cut." And I threw the hand sanitizer on my face, and then I did the Home Alone. Right, and it was cucumbery and even had glitter in it, I think.
Oh no.
Yeah. So then,
wait a second. Okay, I have wait. Well, before we move on, I have questions about this.
Okay.
First of all, because we are live and we're reading comments, Michelle Bartel.
Okay.
She said that fingernail is a weapon. I was there for that. All the moms trying to mother John. So this girl was there and saw that happen, which is great. And so
at one point I took it, and she'll think I was bleeding where I went full Rambo, where I took all the blood and then put it under my eyes. I just Ultimate Warriored it.
That's great. Are there pictures of this?
I don't know.
Someone had to take pictures.
You think?
Oh man,
it's amazing how many women keep Band-Aids for their kids in their.
Oh yeah,
no dude offered me anything. Every guy wanted me to bleed out. But
yeah.
Thank you out there.
Every guy's to put some dirt on it, pussy.
Yeah. But
wait a second. How far into your act? Now, was this a headlining set? This was not the Monday night.
It was right when I was gonna do the Tonight Show E type set. Right when I did it. So then
big. Okay, so is this a headlining set?
Yes.
And how far into your headlining set had you gone?
I bet you 10 minutes.
So that's 40 more minutes of bleeding you had to worry about.
Yeah, that was well, that happened to me when I got Bell's palsy. I was at the Dayton. I had a New Year's Eve at the Dayton Funny Bone, and my face. I don't even hate doing it. My face was so far this way when I talked, you couldn't. So I had to grab my cheek, pull my cheek back like this, and I put my elbow on this hand, and I did my whole show with my face pulled back like this, because if I let go, then it would, of course, those of you who know me know that there's not much difference between me mumbling like this and doing this. But I did my whole show with my cheek pulled back, and that was one of those shows where every 3 minutes I'm like, I'm out of here. These people aren't I'm holding my cheek back, and they're not, and they're still. It was New Year's Eve. It was weird. But have you ever had that? Have you ever had a on stage thing where you're like, I might have to leave the stage, you get hurt?
Yeah.
Or I think it's gonna be a shat. So
no, I have bled on stage as well. Several different ways. I have beat the crap out of myself on stage, especially a lot in my younger years.
Oh, do you hit yourself with the mic? A lot of guys.
Yeah. Like I would, when you do a thing where you hit yourself in the head and you pretend to pass out or whatever.
Why I don't let it touch my mouth, because it hits everyone's head or their crotch.
Yeah, that's the thing. But sometimes those microphones, if you're in a club that's not an A club, sometimes the mesh on the microphones, a little wire could poke out. I'm talking about the little mesh on top of the.
Yeah, it's all busted. Yeah,
it's a piece of, and it might be busted, and it's like a little straggly wire that's kind of sticking out. So I've cut myself on the forehead with that. Sometimes by accident, just pulling the mic out of the stand, and it goes poop. Like hit myself in the mouth. I've done that, and it's bled. I've bled on my hand because I would do a thing about fresh pepper and fresh salt, and I would pretend to be doing a chisel, and I would hit my hand like that, and it would bleed on my knuckle many times. But I think Only a pro like you and me can handle bleeding in about 15 minutes of your set and continue to do another 40 minutes. Had you done had someone like a MC or feature done that, it would ruin the whole set. I wish I were there and could have seen you do the rest of that segment. You know what I mean? That's that set.
Well, the gross part, because I'm such a germaphobe way before COVID, is on the table on stage. I threw all the gauze. When I said I was bleeding, I would put a napkin at first somebody gave me, and it soaked up I don't know. Is there an artery right on your chin? I don't know what happened. I was bleeding more than, just if you shave and you cut yourself, just.
You're probably like one of those professional wrestlers back in the 80s that cut their forehead to bleed more.
Yes, but I threw it all on the table, and it looked like a scene from MASH. Like you just saw like somebody just did underground plastic surgery.
Oh my god!
And then I left it there, and I would just see people kind of eating their nachos, then look over at it's a pandemic. You don't want the guy that's talking in front of you spitting, right, let alone bleeding on you.
Right. Wow. Okay. Well, see, this is an argument for why we should record, and we're too lazy to do this. Record video every show we do. I wish
I got it on audio. I had the guys from 800-Pound Gorilla. They
were there.
They didn't shoot it on video, but we recorded it. I record shows every once in a while, never release them. But I have the audio of it. I could try to. That
might paint a nice visual picture, though.
I don't have it with me today, but for the next one, I could probably get it. It wasn't that funny. I started swearing more than I normally do, just because I'm a little out of shape on stage.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's funny though. Did some people were handing you stuff? I mean, I always hate that for me. Okay, so not only have I injured myself, but I do. Back in the day, I would sweat a lot because I was way more energetic. I would come out dancing and I would be covered in sweat in the first 10 to 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I would see these women like what you're talking about. And it comes out of a place of concern and love. But I also found it distracting and a little insulting was they would feel the need to hand me a napkin without me asking for it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what's this? And they go there's sweat. I'm like, oh yeah. And I'd have to talk about it. Yeah. So my move always, when someone would hand me a napkin like that, because I was sweating, because they're basically saying you look ridiculous. I can't bear the thought of looking at you anymore. Please deal with this disgusting sweat on your face. I would pretend that when they hand me the napkin, that I had a note written on it. And I would make up something that they pretended to write to me. And it was always something to do with the sexual favor. But it would make them look bad, which I miss those days.
Yeah.
Because I don't sweat like that anymore.
Well, we're closer to getting those back than we were this time last year.
Yeah.
This time last year, we're like, what is going on? Yeah.
Me and you both were in Tennessee at the same time, though.
You were in
Chattanooga.
What club was that?
The Comedy Catch. Have you ever been there?
Chattanooga.
Michael Alfano.
Is there one in Knoxville?
There used to be a Side Splitters in Knoxville owned by Bobby Jewell.
Okay, so the one you just said at the city you just said, does that have 1970s wood like on the walls? Is it not updated?
The Choo Choo. Okay. Let me
names.
The Comedy Catch.
Okay.
And the new location.
Oh, it's new. I went
but it does have this old wood and old looking bricks everywhere because it is in the old Chattanooga Choo Choo like hotel and what used to be the main train station.
Oh no, this place was like in a strip mall-y. Well, no, old strip mall, not even really a strip mall. I loved it. It was one of those shows where halfway through you're like, why is this show so good? And then it was they didn't serve food. But I, from coming from, big box comedy clubs where everyone's eating steak and asking for, ketchup or tartar sauce.
Yeah.
I told you that. So when I shot a special at the Irvine Improv, just the entire time I'm on stage, shooting a special that I just paid for, I just hear some lady in front, we need some tartar sauce. I asked the lady, can we get some tartar sauce? And just the whole time I'm just thinking, I'm 6 figures out of pocket for this. And saying is you want tartar sauce. I was so mad. I was like so mad. But that a club like that, I was like, why is the club so good? And I guess you went and got your beers before you walked in, and then so there weren't servers going around, and they weren't eating.
Right. Well, I don't think that would have been in Chattanooga or in Knoxville, but I know what you're talking about, and I do love those kind. It's like doing a theater gig. It's like, well, there's no tables, there's no servers, there's no distraction. It's just me in the audience.
You think with COVID that we've switched? Maybe we could go back to that for maybe the rest of the year. You think it'd go back to normal, right? Because most places, well, I'm in Michigan where there's more rules than
I think it's about to. I mean, I've been saying this for a year, but I think it's about to be over with.
Watched Nate's comedy special.
Nate, the one that's I saw that. It's just called Nate. It's the girl who dresses up like a dude, right? On Netflix. It's just called Nate.
No, this one would be comedian. What's Nate's special called? Average American, and he's wearing a cape.
Not familiar. What's his last name?
I was Begizzi. I have a picture.
Is it like it's Italian? It's like subtitled.
Yeah.
Is it in Italian?
Yeah, he's in a photo that I sent you. I sent Alan a picture of us at Brad Paisley's bar.
Nate Bergazzi.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Of course I know who he is. Oh, yeah. Look at us, dude.
Yeah. So it's funny when you look at group pictures. I always say you can tell the people who are into each other, right? And all that stuff. I've always had hover hand in every picture, for the most part. Yeah. I always do this fist above the shoulder thing. I've done it forever. You're gonna find some that aren't, but for the most part,
Yeah.
And you can always tell the people who are into each other or who like each other or there's a bond or whatever. It doesn't have to be, because heads are always leaning towards that person. So a group of people could, if there's a guy and a girl and they're kind of into each other, their heads always do this where their heads are kind of leaning. Looking at that picture, boy, all of us are just straight up. And just
oh yeah, this
no
is
leaning. We're just all. This is very official, and look how far away I am from everybody. I think at that point I was just pissed. I'm like, you guys all have your fun little group. I'm gonna wait till my mom picks me up and takes me home.
Are you on your tiptoes in that picture?
Am I on my tiptoes?
I mean, I feel like I am obviously bending down. I'm not that short.
Yeah, you do look like a. Yeah.
No, I'm bending at the knees.
Yeah.
So that Nate could get in there. You know what I mean? But then so it's almost like the bars on your cell phone. It goes from short to tall, going from left to right.
My hair looked good that day.
Yeah. Yeah, you look good, but that's in. Let me just go with these comments. Lethea Page, I know who Nate Bargatze is. I was joking. Sometimes I do sarcastic things. Yeah. Sarcasm. She's saying no, he's American. No, he's Southern. Nate is hot right now. He's super funny. I know. But yes.
But so what I was getting at was his special was interesting to watch because it's shot during COVID and everyone's masked up. There's not a lot of people and there are no drinks or anything on their tables.
The crowd's masked up?
Yeah.
That's weird.
But there was it's kind of not nice that people aren't doing things while they're watching.
Oh, I see. Would that muffle the laughter though? Could you hear them laughing? Because I feel like if they're masked up, it would prevent the audio of the laughter coming out into the microphones.
They have people whose job it is to make sure you hear the laughing.
Good.
You know,
So,
people-
that's good. Maybe
Yeah.
they had microphones on the tables or something.
it's
You know
not.
what I mean?
Yeah, it's not muffled. I do. You ever do that? No, this is fun bitching. Because hopefully we'll get back to this. I have weird things when I hear noises when I'm on stage. Like if I hear somebody stirring their drink more than I think is acceptable in my brain when I'm talking, I have this weird tick where I'll say it's stirred enough. Don't cling, 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 cling,
Right.
cling, cling, cling. Or in Pickwick and Frolics, right?
Great
Awesome
comedy
place.
club, Cleveland.
I have
Yeah,
nothing
everyone
to
loves
complain
it.
about that. Awesome food, but people take it's like China, and they have. I mean, the plates are legit glass.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah, like
You
very.
hear the forks and the knives clang, 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 and somebody clank, clutting, and I just get the whole time. Yeah.
No, it's so funny because so in Chattanooga where I was this weekend, by the way, thank you if you were in Chattanooga and you came to my shows, sold out all the shows, John Heffron, and I think it's because of our Heffron and Reep podcast.
Heffron and Reep. Shameless plugs.
Thank you, Chattanooga.
Where you at next weekend? You're not?
I will be with Reno Collier April the 3rd in Greenville, South Carolina, at the Walhalla Performing Arts Center. Me and Reno Collier doing a show together one night, April 3rd. Come out and see us.
Walhalla?
Yeah, it's called the Walhalla.
South Carolina?
Ain't no Walhalla back girl. Ain't no Walhalla back girl. South Carolina.
That's that
Greenville.
weekend. And then what's the rest of your April look like?
Well, honestly,
I'm looking
it's that
crazy.
one gig.
Like on my dates.
I'm okay. Well, I do want to tell you this because I think it's pretty cool. Do you know who Bo Duke is? John Schneider?
Yeah.
Well, he wrote a part for me in his film, and he's doing a new movie called Poker Run. And he wrote a scene for me. So I'm going to go down to Louisiana April 10 and 11 and do that. But it's not like you're not selling tickets to that. That's just a thing I'm bragging about.
You got to go off to go on set. You can put a new poster behind you.
All right.
I'm plugging my dates just because
Plug it.
people if I don't. April 2nd through 3rd, I'll be in Ann Arbor. Those shows are probably already sold out, but try to hit those. The weekend after that, I'm in Port Charlotte. If you have a grandparent who's retired down there, come down there. It's John, there's more older people there than any other part of the country. And that's
Port Charlotte, Florida, Comedy Zone. Wait a second. Is that at that restaurant? Vasani's.
I'm going to be eating for 3 days straight, and I'm vaccinated up. I couldn't be more excited.
John, you're gonna get so fat. That is one of the best restaurants.
Ever. It's only an hour south of Tampa-ish, hour and a half.
Come for the food, stay for the comedy.
Yeah, shows are over early too because it's all
it's an older crowd. They gotta get out of there.
And then after that, I'm back in Tempe at the Tempe Improv.
Nice.
Yeah, I got fired a long time ago from that Tempe Improv. No, everybody who was part of this is no longer with us and or have moved on.
Wow.
But I went to, I don't know why I would tell the story. So somebody that's no longer with us, so I can tell the story. I went to the same bar that the staff was at in my early 20s.
Okay. Yeah, this is a long time ago.
And I got fired for the week because I'm not allowed to hang out with staff. That used to be a thing. A lot of people don't realize this is old school managers. All these people are long gone. And it's a thing, but they wouldn't, back in the day, they wouldn't even let you talk to a server if you're a comedian because there were a lot of servers getting pregnant via comedians. So they would try to separate the two parties. So a comedian wouldn't talk to a waitress and then distract her from her, her moving.
That and back then as well, a lot of the comedy club managers were jealous of the headliners that were taking the girls that they were trying to get with.
Yeah, so it was a whole thing. So I just went into a bar And I saw the bartender there and I waved to him. And then the next day, I'm young too. I just drive from LA to make $50 to MC the entire weekend. The guy goes, what club were you? Where'd you go after the show last night? And I just said, just whatever bars down the steps. He's like, do you see any of my staff there? And I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, you don't hang out where my staff is. And I remember going, how am I supposed to know where your staff? Like I walked there by myself.
That's the dumbest thing. I hate that. That's so stupid.
Yeah. And then, but I got a million of those.
Well, you're like, once I'm done working here, I am a free human being who can go wherever the hell he wants to. Yeah.
No,
I hate that.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm back. And then that was a million years ago, a million shows ago, but back in Tempe. I have a lot of friends that have moved to Tempe actually. So it's nice.
Oh, can I tell you something great about where you're going though in Port Charlotte, Florida?
Yeah.
This was a great moment that happened to me, and I hated it when it happened. But at that club you're going to,
Comedy Zone, Port Charlotte.
When is it again?
The same weekend you're doing your movie.
I'll be in Louisiana, one state over from you.
April
8 through 10, Comedy Zone, Port Charlotte, Florida. John Heffron at the Comedy Zone, Visani's. I was on stage, and this is not a comedy club. This is a restaurant that
you're doing dinner theater here. You're full on.
Yeah.
People are eating massive amounts of food, and you're talking while you're trying to digest all the carbs you just think.
Yeah. And it's not like seats with small tables. It's long tables, and they're facing each other, and they kind of gotta know to turn their chair to get into you. Anyway, I was about halfway into my set, and the power went out.
Okay.
Like they got hit by lightning or something. No power, no lights, no sound, no kitchen. And everyone's like, what happened? And they couldn't hear me. But I improvised for the next 30 minutes, and it's one of the best sets I ever had. To this day, people still go, I was at that show, and that was amazing. Because as I'm talking, and I deal with it, I'm making fun of it. I don't even know what I did, but I remember it going well. And then someone from the back of the room came out with a megaphone. Like they had a megaphone at the club.
Okay.
I don't know. Someone who worked there, someone at the club, at the restaurant, came from the office managers club, and came out with a megaphone. I'm like, oh, this is great. So I did another 30 minutes with a megaphone, and I had a great time doing it. I can't tell you what I did. I don't know the bits. I just know it was working. So good news. If the power goes out while you're there, just ask for the megaphone.
Ask for the that place is, earlier when we started, I was thinking, when I see younger people in my head now, I'm like, okay, what material are they gonna? Because I like to have everyone. That place is the exact same thing. Because 80s references and you're 18, you might not get them, but also if you're 85, you might not get them.
Right.
I gotta say, those crowds
That's true.
Are awesome. You look at them and I see them as parents. Some of you might see them as grandparents, but they all have silver hair, and they love the place. Likes you to be cleaner.
Yeah,
boy, if you kind of go off and start being a little dirtier, they love it.
They do,
because they don't give a shit.
As long as you get them to like you in the first 10 minutes, you can do whatever you want. Wait, I gotta address this real quick. On our Facebook page live right now, we have a spammer. Everyone ignore Rhoda Alfred. She is commenting on everyone's comments saying this. You have a nice profile pic and page, which is looking very amazing. And I noticed we aren't friends. I tried to send you a friend request, but it's not going through. Please, I'd like you to send me a friend request so that we can be friends. Thanks. All right. That's obviously someone from another country. Everyone, please ignore Rhoda Alfred. But it's funny. I'm sitting here watching it happen. Can you see these, John?
Yeah, I see him. I've had that happen with my page where, somebody acts as me and then DMs people and says, hey, will you like my new page, and that's not a thing.
It's
But
been happening to me a lot more
probably crush
lately. Yeah.
Um,
I don't know if we can. I don't know how to do it, but
Well, if that's on our Facebook page, if somebody's an admin, then
it's on one of our pages. I'm not sure which one it's happening on.
Not on
But
mine.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Let's have fun with it. Let's see if we can have Rhoda call in.
I'm afraid to click on those links like that, because then you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Everyone was getting all these these compliments. Kevin and Andy and Bob and Shane. That's not a real girl, dude. That's a dude.
In love with the bot, bruh. You're in love with the bot, bruh.
No, it sucks because you think, oh,
she's still. What time is it? She's still doing it.
Yeah, she's just as long as everyone knows. Just go ahead and block her, or report or whatever.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah.
That's been happening to me a lot recently because I do that segment on Country-ish where I give away my residual checks.
Yeah.
People are like starting fake pages called John Reep giveaways, and I got to go in there and squash it. Like it's happened 3 or 4 times.
Oh, it's such a pain in the ass.
Yeah. The more popular we get, man, more money, no more problems, John.
Yeah, that's why we go either direct mail or maybe get hot air balloons, and that's how we kind of start messaging people.
Yes.
Like we skywrite it.
Have you ever been in a hot air balloon, by the way?
No interest.
That's a no then. Have you ever been close to a hot air balloon?
I've seen them up in the air. That's where they keep them. No interest. One of my neighbors was telling me that the field that's kind of by our house, back in the day, they used to make hot air balloons. So they would do, like, for the Macy's parade or whatever, they would make them and then blow them up to see if it worked. So he said as kids, they used to just sit there and you'd see Jordache jeans, a huge pair of jeans. You'd see.
Oh, right. Like a big bunny.
Yeah. I'm like, that'd be cool. Unless you're.
Yeah, I don't have any interest really. I mean, you and I, John, we've been in airplanes many times, and we can look out the window and see the same view that we would see from a hot air balloon. So if the allure is to get a good view, been there, done that. Don't need to get in a hot air balloon.
Why did hot air balloons? Because get such a thing of. Did some penthouse pet in 1976 say in her turn-ons are walks on beaches in hot air balloons? Like, how did hot air balloons become such a romantic thing? Because it would seem stressful and would terrify you from start to finish.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember the Zeppelin that burst into flames,
but you're not even hooking up on a hot air balloon because you have right.
Yeah, there's a dude standing there with a.
Yeah, unless you can go, bro. Can you just turn around and face that way? You're not hooking up.
Yeah, like you're about to give the girl a kiss, and the guy's like, "Hey, real quick, can you drop one of them sandbags?"
Yeah. Here's the deal. I got good news and bad news. We're floating into Russian territory. Yeah, I don't. It just seems like has anyone ever done it? Who's on that chat?
Well, Jolie Davis said she was in a hot air balloon once, but never again. I've never been in one. But they look pretty dang cool when you're close to them. They're like they're amazing. You look at it like, wow, this is this gigantic thing full of all this hot air. It's just floating around this tiny little basket at the bottom. And I remember as a kid, like maybe I was like 9 or 10. I was riding bikes with my friends to a neighborhood. We saw these hot air balloons, and one of them was coming down. Like close to us. We're like, ooh, that ain't supposed to happen. So we're like riding our bikes like a bunch of little kids and like, Stranger Things or E.T. And we're just like, we're going to find out what's going on with the hot air balloon. And we get there and it's like landing in a cow pasture.
Right.
And apparently they did something wrong. It was a wind and they landed and they did some stuff and they needed us to hold a rope for a minute or whatever. We were helping them out. Yeah. And I remember like holding this rope and then they were kind of going back up and I'm like, I'm just going to hold on to it longer than I should. Cause they said, okay, that's good. Let go. And I started floating up a little bit and I just I got like 2 feet off the ground and bailed out. But it's, as a kid, it was gigantic and amazing, and that was pretty cool. And I'm still to this day not sure exactly why that hot air balloon landed in that cow pasture, other than they must have screwed up somehow.
The government's spying. Yeah, that's got to be an overrated romantic thing. I don't know what else.
Right.
Let me put my glasses on.
She said my dad rented it for my stepmom as an anniversary gift, and we all got to go. I cried the whole time. Oh, that's gonna be miserable. Trapped in a basket with a crying kid.
Your dad was sold that that's what people wanted. That seems overrated. Also, like, I'm trying to think of overrated romancy stuff, like rose petals everywhere. That seems like a thing, because that just seems like or I'm getting older and just lazier. That just seems like stuff you have to pick up.
Yeah, that was the thing. You're right. It was a romantic thing to be in a hot air balloon with a girl.
So. Or did James Bond do it? I don't know why I associate that with, that's people trying to be romantic, but it seems horrible. Nothing about it seems fun.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cooler. Now, I'd love to see this. If you could get like, somebody work on this, by the way. If you could get like, let's say 6 hot air balloons.
Okay.
All working in unison, holding a platform, and not just a tiny basket, but a platform that could lift maybe a football-sized field of people. Then you're just kind of hovering around, walking around. A tiny city floating in the air, John Heffron. This is what I'm talking about.
I mean, would it be as romantic if, like, your girl, you both climb on one end of a forklift and the guy just raises it up? You're standing there. Isn't it the same? You're doing the same exact thing.
Right. I mean, it's like being on a cruise ship. You're like, oh, this is amazing. Look, we're out here in the middle of nothing. All it is water. Like it's like saying like, oh, it's the same as being in a lifeboat in the Pacific Ocean or a cruise ship in the Pacific Ocean. That's my argument.
This isn't not
Heffron and Reep. Subject change.
As that gets on up, sex on the beach is overrated.
Oh yeah, way overrated.
What beach are you gonna do it at? If you're from Michigan, you can do it at Kensington. That gross.
Oh, I thought she's talking about the drink.
Oh, is that what she? Yeah, that too. Any fruity, sugary drink. But sex on the beach would. I've never done it, but that just seems. I don't see anything enjoyable in that.
I think when you're a younger man and you just get it wherever it can happen, and if it happens on the beach, so be it. But they have romanticized that a lot in like magazines and movies where they're making out in the waves and they're rolling around and they're making out. It's like sand's gonna get in your crotch. It's horrible. Yeah,
there's a bunch. We'll probably get back to. Somehow my brain went from hot air balloons.
Yeah.
To I was talking to my neighbors this weekend, and they asked if there were any drones. If I've seen any drones. And I go, what do you mean? They go, well, we have a drone problem of drones flying around the houses looking into windows. I'm like, that's a
problem.
Thing? Yeah, a thing. And they go, yeah, we've called the FBI. It's a thing, right? I go, wait, it's that big a deal? And I go, well, what do you guys do? And they said, we're trying to figure it out that you're not allowed to. I know this conversation went from romance to you're not allowed to shoot the drones because everybody on my street, they're all farmers. They're all
Oh, they got shotguns.
Fun rack. Yeah, I'm not worried about their safety.
Oh, my indoor shotgun or my outdoor shotgun?
Yeah, we have one, and the police or the FBI said you can't shoot the drone. Right, you can't skeet shoot it because they just asked me if I want to go skeet shooting because apparently that's what everyone on my street does on Sundays.
Awesome.
I'm like, yeah, but you can't because it's federal airspace. You're not allowed to shoot at something because you don't own the air above your house, even though it's your yard. You don't own.
Right.
They were explaining to me, I'm messing it up, but where your property begins and somebody said if it's below a tree line. Then you can
shoot it.
But if it's above your airspace, you can't.
That's interesting.
So my brain immediately was like, okay, I'm going to create my just backstory that I'm going to hang piñatas in every one of my trees. And I'm just going to walk out at night for the first couple weeks, just swinging with the blindfold on. And I'm going to say, well, I take a sleeping pill and I go out and I hit piñatas. It's there's a history of me doing it. Right. And then that way,
all we're talking about is how your brain works right now. Right.
But I went back. Remember that scary movie? Remember that we were talking about for the sleep study, which I still think we need to do.
Yeah.
That's when you're talking to John Snyder for the script. He goes, I know you like to do this type of stuff, but I have a new genre. Would you be interested in? Then pitch him our sleep study horror movie.
Okay. He's making stuff right now. I'll pitch it to him. I think so. Here's what I'm thinking though. You get the drone. Okay. The drone up in the air is not your property. So you can't really do anything. But if you get the drone and you put it on a hook on the tree and you put no trespassing all around it, then the person's got to come and get the drone. And that's a whole scary movie. Somebody's drone lands in somebody's yard. They go to get it. Bam. Okay, hang on. A couple things.
Okay, I know
Shane Flint, who we both know, who works in the military.
Yeah, we still own a Zoom.
No, but we know his background.
Okay.
He's saying you have to keep your drone below 400 feet legally. And I believe Shane Flint knows what he's talking about.
He knows. He probably could sell us some anti-drone countermeasures.
Right. So, but your idea is this. So you're in your house here at your yard.
I throw a cargo net
to prevent. A cargo net.
I throw it like Planet of the Apes.
To keep them from coming down a certain length.
And I get the drone to fall into my yard. And then
you want the drone to come in your yard.
And then once you get the drone to touch your grass, anybody coming to get the drone now has to deal with.
I see. Like a drone. You're like a drone catcher.
And then the drone's there. And then I have my 3 Rottweilers or my 3 German Shepherds and I put a little piece of cheese just right on the drone. And then, then when the person shows up to get their drone.
No, I like this. So basically you're a guy trying to get other drones to come into your airspace so that you could legally take care of them.
Person flying them.
You suck them into your.
The drone person's being creepy and bothering neighbors at what the neighborhood watch, I think, should happen also in the sky. And you take care of it.
A drone honeypot trap.
That's exactly it, Shane. Then we just Wile E. Coyote them. And I have big, cool cages that fall when you step on it or your ankle gets caught and you get flipped upside down.
But you bring up a good point. Like if this is the future, if this is where we're going, where peeping toms have turned into drone peeping toms, then the next thing that we're going to have to do, like fences around your yard, is you're going to have to build a fence over your head, like a net, like in a baseball game, where like a foul ball, freaking net over your own house, and the future is going to look miserable.
I've seen guns you can get that they're not guns, but they're like shotguns. You point it at the drone, you pull a trigger, and somehow there's an electric wave, and you can snag the drone, and then wherever you point your gunny thing, you can bring the drone down.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Dude, this needs to be a thing. A drone sort of spy thriller, suspenseful horror flick.
They have ghost catchers on all those channels that have Honey Boo Boo. Why can't me and you be the like Dog the Bounty Hunter, but we're the drone getters? People, we're like the A-team. Like they call us and we're like, there's a drone that keeps coming, and then we show up in a cool looking van.
Yeah,
jump out and we kind of set traps and we do a thing, and then we at the end we always tip our hat.
D team coming at you.
Yeah, we're the D team. Yeah, the D team, dude. And we go like that. We just get in our van and we just go off.
Also, to somehow weigh in on this, because that's a great idea. You know how hawks and eagles are apex predators? Like they are up here and they come swoop down on their prey, right? So what if we designed a drone to attack the other drones?
Right. Yeah.
like it had a net on it. Like like our drone has a net, and it somehow it doesn't just destroy the drone, doesn't shoot it. It brings it down safely so we can open it up and look at
Is
it.
that a TV show? I would watch. I just watch BattleBots. That takes place on the thing. I'd watch a TV show that's just drones attacking each other.
Drone bots. Why isn't that a show?
I would watch that, trying to get the drone get knocked out of the air, and you got to play it within the little thing, and you invent parachutes and you stream water. I've seen flamethrower drones to get rid of wasp nests.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Oh, this is great. I want this to happen.
I have a feeling, because I immediately thought about it, maybe because I've had a close attachment to my Roomba over the pandemic, because it's been me and the Roomba in that house.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the Roomba would be the sidekick, kind of like the kit car, because it's a computer or it's a robot,
Yeah, that's right.
And it's like
so wait a minute, maybe our drones have their own personalities. They have their own, like R2D2 and 3C.
Yes.
They had their own intelligence.
You have like funny drones,
Right.
but when it's time to knock things out of the air, you
call in the Airwolf drone. Remember Airwolf?
Yeah, and but the drone kind of it acts like a kid's. Oh, this is maybe a Disney. It acts like it's a kid's toy until shit gets shitty.
Right.
And then the kid drone is like, I thought I was out of this business. Every time they pull me back in.
Dude, this is great. And we can make all size drones. Like there could be micro drones, kind of like Ant-Man. You know what I mean? That could fly in up your nose, or it could fly like in your chimney in your house, or it could fly inside the other drone. Oh man.
Yeah.
This is great.
Pressure washer? What if you're a pressure washer? Like you just have the pressure washer and then you're doing your house. And if the drone happens to get in the way, I'm trying to think of why is it the person's getting in trouble whose house it is.
I mean, this has to be peeping Toms, right?
Yeah.
That's all this is. So it starts with peeping Toms.
Yeah.
No one likes those dudes, right? So we're all for getting rid of the drones that are peeping Toms, right?
But if we can't
shoot them, well, we'll have to find our own loopholes.
Let me ask Shane Shane, what would your first what would you do?
Ooh, Chad Clemens says kamikaze drones.
Yes, Chad.
Oh, I like this. Drones specifically designed to kill themselves and the other drone. So you're not shooting it. It's an accident among drones.
And the drone can say something cool to you, like, just remember me always. Like that scene from Independence
Right.
when the dad
Yeah.
remember me. And then just afterwards the sun comes up.
Yeah, and it plays inspiring music behind it real loud as it's going down.
And then it's just
I
really
love that.
cool. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. John, we've had a good time.
Oh, okay. Let's do this. Dude, how many TV shows did we just come up with? We got to start keeping track of show ideas because they're going to be done.
Yeah.
Right. They're going to be.
Well, we've already predicted Honey Boo Boo's future, and that's what we did a long time ago.
We have our scary movie that takes place in a sleep study.
Now we've got the drone
TV show where drones
drone bots. Yeah. At least drone bots. Yeah.
Our Netflix series that is just about drone catchers.
Yeah.
That they just get called in, and then there's always a bigger problem that they got to solve.
Right.
Single mom, the townspeople, like we just roadhouse it. Like there's just some, and then you're like a martial arts expert, and I'm like the electronics guy, right? I rewire people's Ring doorbells to like be used against them. We'll do that.
Man,
what other ideas we have? We have a scary drone idea. There's a lot.
Another idea that I have for people to do is go to heffronandreep.com.
Yeah.
Check out the website that the Alan Jackson built. It's amazing. I'm proud of the website, man. Go to heffronandreep.com and just look at it, and then watch stuff and listen to it, and then you can subscribe, be a Patreon supporter. Go ahead, John.
By the way, we did not talk about our swap towns.
We're doing that.
We have to do that Monday of next week or whenever we do this again.
We will.
We need to be set. We need like a person that helps us stay on point.
Yes. Yeah. We need a
thing, because we're creating drone shows. We got scary movies. We got a lot.
Agreed. HeffronandReep.com for all Heffron and Reep needs. Wait, John, t-shirts. Yeah. Did we ever get that done?
That's why we need a person. I got my Burger Chef shirt I got from Old School t-shirt or tees. I forgot.
So I've signed. He's got the artwork. I don't know. Are we making the shirt? Is it already made? I got to follow up on that. We both got to follow up on that.
We need it.
We need a follow-up guy. That's what we need.
We need a follow-up guy or girl or however you identify. We need a follow-up human.
Yeah.
I think that's my Roomba. I mean, we could automate it. I can have my Roomba. Right. That's my R2D2. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, we got a lot. So, so I'm excited about next week's show. And if you haven't already, subscribe, and just even if you don't listen to podcasts, maybe you just watch it. If you could just subscribe so it automatically gets downloaded. I'm gonna be honest with you. We have people like our show, and people want to see numbers, and we need to
so is that what John's saying is like there's more people watching us live than listen to us later. So if you're watching us live and you're like, let me throw these dudes a bone, and you don't have any money, just go to Heffron and Reep, find out where we are in the podcast realm, the audio part of it.
Yeah.
And then hit subscribe. It's $0, but we get a little bump and people go like, oh my gosh, these guys are doing well.
Yeah, just all day we can back for stuff, but we won't. John, I know you got to get to. I'm gonna get to the Heffron and Reep boardroom. Start working on all this stuff.
I love it.
On pitching the movie when you go shoot your movie. I'm gonna work on t-shirts. We got a whole industry that's happening. We're kind of like Kardashians, to be honest with you.
We are.
So, let's just go out because I know we ran long and I have to pee. I would even we don't even need to close it up the way
you end it, John. You end it.
Hey everybody, listen, be safe, get vaccinated, blah blah blah, make bundt cake, no bake cookies, cornbread. I'm just saying things I would like to eat now. Thank you, Arby's, for existing. All right, everybody, take care.
Lucky the knob off. You're tuned in to the #1 show on the planet, the Heffron and Reep Show.
Yeah.